Hi guys, and welcome to our fourth video tutorial of computer basics. In this video tutorial, we are going to discuss on the generations of computers. So without wasting much time, let's go straight into the concept regarding generations of computers. Let's begin with looking into brief history of computers. Guys, it's very important to note that when the human started doing some trade, it felt a need for a calculating device. And the first calculating device, which was used about 2000 years ago, was called abacus. And the improvements on the calculating device at that age were slow. The next change, guys, came about 1600 or 1600 years ago, and following that change, the changes were frequent and the mechanical desk calculator was developed around 1800 or 1800 AD. Guys, in the year 1833, the Professor Charles Babbage, who was by then known as the father of the computers, developed a machine called analytical engine. And the analytical engine marked the verse for the modern digital computers. The generation of computers from then up to date began from the development of the analytical engine by the so-called Charles Babbage, a professor. Guys, it's also very important to note that the development of computers has followed different steps in technology used, and these steps of technological differences are what we call generations in computer technology. It's very important to note that there are a total of 5 generations of computers up to date, and those include first generation, which occurred between the year 1951 to the year 1958. Second generation, which occurred between the year 1959 to the year 1964. Third generation, which occurred between the year 1965 to the year 1970. Fourth generation, which occurred between the year 1971 to the year 1985. And finally, fifth generation, which occurred between the year 1986 up to date. Guys, let's go into these generations one by one, and let's begin with the first generation of computers. The first generation computers occurred between the year 1951 to the year 1958. And the first generation computer started with a computer make called UNIVAC 1. And UNIVAC 1 is an abbreviation standing for Universal Automatic Computers, built by Mochley and Ickett in the year 1951. The machine was sold to the US Census Bureau and was dedicated to business data processing, such as payroll and record keeping. Let's look at some of the characteristics of the first generation computers, and they are as follows. The first generation of computers involved the use of vacuum tubes as the core elements in electronic circuits. Secondly, the first generation computers made use of magnetic drum as a primary internal storage medium. Thirdly, first generation computers use punch cards and paper tape as secondary storage medium. Fourthly, the first generation computers had limited main storage capacity. Fifthly, or the fifth characteristics is that the first generation computers were too huge and were not portable. The sixth characteristic is that the first generation computers had high power consumption rate. The seventh characteristic is that the first generation computers used machine code as a programming language for the machines. The makes of the first generation computers included ENIAC, EDFAC, EDSAC, and UNIVAC 1. Let's move to the second generation computers. Second generation computers had the following characteristics: use of transistors as the core elements for internal operations, use of magnetic core as the primary internal storage medium, use of tapes and magnetic disk as the secondary storage medium, increased main storage capacity, faster input-output processing, use of high-level procedural languages, used in batch-oriented applications such as billing and payroll processing, and the machines developed during that generation include IBM 700, IBM 1401, Atlas, and KL 1901. Let's move to third generation of computers. It's very important to note that third generation computers were evolved or were made between the year 1965 and the year 1970. And the third generation computers had the following characteristics: use of integrated circuits as the main core elements, use of magnetic core and solid state main storage, use of magnetic disk as the secondary storage, development of millicomputers, development of operating system, smaller size, better performance and reliability of the machines were realized, use of high-level programming languages, remote data processing and time-sharing communication applicable in areas like airline reservation system, market forecasting, and credit card billing. The third generation computers included IBM 360, NCR 395, and IDC 316. Fourth generation computers. It's very important to note that fourth generation computers were made between the year 1970 and the year 1985, and they had the following main characteristics: use of large-scale integrated circuits as the core element, use of semiconductors as the primary storage medium, use of magnetic disk and optical disk as the secondary storage medium. The machines were smaller and cheaper. The machines had increased storage capacity and speed as compared to the third generations. The machines had modular design and reliability between equipment. The machines had special application programs, increased use of mini computers, creation of local area networks and wide area networks, and examples of fourth generation computers were as follows. We have DEC 10 and Star 1000 among others. The fifth generation computers. Fifth generation computers development took place between the year 1986 and it's still taking place up to date. So it's the current computer generation. And the main characteristics of the fifth generation computers are as follows: use of very large scale integration circuits as the core element, use of RAM and ROM as the primary storage medium, use of HDD and SSD as the secondary storage medium, use of all high-level programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python, and .NET framework, reliability on further prediction and technological refinements, storage of vast knowledge database, rapid search over the databases, making intelligent inferences and drawing logical conclusion by the machines. And the machines are reliable and fault tolerance. Examples of the fifth generation computer machines include the laptops, desktops, smartphones, iPhones, among others. Guys, let's proceed to the summary. The year 1951 to the year 1958, we had the first generation, and the core elements used during that period were vacuum tubes. The second generation computers developed between the year 1959 to the year 1964, and the core elements used during that period were transistors. The third generation occurred between the year 1965 to the year 1970, and the core element used were integrated circuits. The fourth generation occurred between the year 1971 to the year 1985, and the core element used were large integrated circuit or large scale integrated circuit. The fifth generation of computers began from the year 1986 up to date, and the core element under use are very large scale integrated circuits or vast large scale or ultra large scale integration. Guys, in conclusion, the research shows that trend in computer technology revolution is that there is continual decrease in computer size, improved speed and power processing, decrease in computer and related facilities cost, number of components in computer per circuit greatly increased. Thank you guys for watching from this channel. If you are watching from this channel for the first time, I would ask you to just take a second or two and click on the subscribe button as well as a notification bell, so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Bye.